Good evening. Welcome back to Crochet with Lulu. This evening I wanted to do a tutorial on the beanie, and it is I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is the colorway Argentine. It's 252 yards and it is 100% acrylic. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is just, I can't even tell you how soft and squishy this is. But I have already got rows 1 and 2 done. All we done was we done our slip knot. We done 12 double crochets, and then we started our second row with 2 double crochets in each stitch. So we have a total of 24 in our second row. Now our third row is where we start our differences. We've done our chain and we've done our double crochet here. So we do our next stitch will be in the next double crochet, and we do 2 double crochets. So our pattern for this row will be 1 double crochet in one stitch, 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So we do 1. Just remember, when you say 2, you do 2. This beanie is for my son, so when I start into the double crochets all the way around, I'm going to have to increase more stitches. So it's very important when you make beanies for a special person that you do measure, because I made one for my neighbor and it was too tight. So I will have to learn that not everybody has the same head circumference. And even if they have the same head circumference, in some cases they have more hair or less hair than others. So there's so many things to take into consideration. When you make these beanies, if you're making them for specific people in mind, just remember to measure. And I keep forgetting where I'm at. That's 2, so this is 1. So it's very important. Keep up with your stitches. I hope everybody's having a nice evening. It rained here. We had a bonfire planned, and so they decided earlier in the day that it might not be a good idea because of the rain coming in. So they made the correct call. It opened up and poured, which we so welcome the rain here in Middle Tennessee. It's just been so dry. But all we're doing is 1 double crochet into 1 double crochet chain, and then in the next one we'll put 2. So like I said, when you say the number 2, you automatically put 2 in that stitch. 1, 2. And I apologize if I'm going a little fast. I want to get you to row 6 and then let you finish the beanie in the size that you need to. Because at that point I will have to stop and measure versus the older beanie that I've made him, and make sure I'm on the right track with this one. This is a standard size. The circumference is a little different because I'm using a different yarn. So that's why I said it's very important. Lengthwise, you really want it anywhere from 7 to 8 inches long in length for an adult. For a child, you're going to stop your increase rows after row number 4. So we're on number 3 now. So if you're doing this for a child, you would do row number 4 and skip to row number 7. And you really need to measure the length that they need for their beanie. You can see it already starting to cup up, and that's what you want. You don't want it to ruffle. If it starts ruffling, I was working on one earlier and I had accidentally, for some reason, I wasn't paying attention, and evidently I copied 2 rows the same thing. So I'm having to go back and ravel it out. Now what I'm doing, I've seen several different ways to do this. I've seen some videos where they continued around and around and around and they didn't stop and join with the slip stitch. And I've seen them go they put like a single crochet here and they pull it way up and they do that. I'm just doing the standard way, stopping and joining with the slip stitch, but I'm doing my stitches real tight right here, and that keeps that seam straight and it looks very neat. Okay, we're starting row 4. Row 4 says 1 double crochet, 1 double crochets, and then 2 in the 3rd stitch. So 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 in the next stitch. And that's the pattern all the way around. Our last row we done 1 double crochet and then 2 in the next one. This one we do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then we do 2. So we'll do it again. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. One double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and that's the repeat for row 4. This reminds me of tie-dye, and it is just gorgeous. My son blessed me with the whole bag of yarn tonight from Hobby Lobby, and I am so excited. I've been wanting to get to Hobby Lobby for weeks, and he was over in that area this afternoon, and he texted and said, any special kind of yarn? And I said, no. And he came home and he had a bag of a bunch of yarn. There was skeins and then there was 2 big cakes, and I was absolutely so excited. Let me pull me some yarn off here. I don't like to get a lot out at one time because it will tangle sometimes, and I just don't pull a whole bunch out at one time. But he got me about 7 skeins plus 2 cakes, and I have just, the colorways are just absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen that video, watch it because I was just so excited, so giddy. Just making sure that I'm doing the right stitch because I don't want it to ruffle. If it starts to ruffle, you almost have to figure out where your mistake was made and go all the way back and correct it. If you heard lapping of the water, Sophie decided she was thirsty. I have been so excited over this pattern for these beanies. It's such a simple and quick pattern, and I've seen so many different ones do this, and everybody seems to change up something. They're stopping, they're starting, whatever. They're starting chain, and so I don't want to even mention names because I've seen too many do this same pattern. I just go back and make sure that I've done my count properly. 1, 1, 2. One, 1, 2. Now I have noticed that with this pattern, like I have 2 places here and I should go 1, 1, and then 2, but I only have 2 stitches left. So what I've been doing is I'll put 1 in the first one and then I'll put 2 in the second one. I have noticed that almost every time I've worked this up, sometimes I don't even pay attention to that, but okay, so I'm joining with my slip stitch. Now I'm going to pull that tight. I'm just reaching behind it here and pulling that down. And then I'm tightening that first stitch. It's almost a tight. I almost couldn't get the hook in there. But I want that tight because I want that seam to stay. See how pretty? That seam is just, I mean, it's not profound like sometimes it is. This row, you go 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2. So you've got 1, 1, 1, 3 times, and then you've got 2 in the next space. I'm just absolutely loving this colorway. I mean, it is just absolutely gorgeous. Now we're on row 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to work you through this row, and then the next row you will be just 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get it the length that you want. Here's another beanie that I worked up. So you will measure from here to here. And I think I measured this one earlier. I think it was right at 8 inches long. So be sure and keep that in mind, that you're measuring from the top, from the very top of the crown, all the way down. you don't want it so long that it's aggravating, and you don't want it too short to where they won't wear it. Okay, so let me go back and show you this again. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. And it's the repeat all the way around. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. One, 1, 1, and 2. And if you hear snoring, that's poor little Bigsby. Bless his little heart. That's my son's Boston Terrier, and he is so precious. They play so hard, and they just give out. They just come in and they'll drink water, and I call it crashing. They just crash. This yarn is so squishy and so soft, you just cannot even begin to know how nice it is to work with. And it's chunky, so it's going to work up larger than the smaller yarns. I've been using the Mandala a lot, line brand, and the Ferris wheel, and it's just super tiny. So okay, we just done our 2 together in the same stitch. So we go 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Now what I done to help me remember this is I went back and I watched the one that I liked the best doing this, and I don't remember which one exactly it was, but I wrote down the pattern on notebook paper so that I could remember when it was a 1 and then 2, or a 1 1 and then 2, or the 1 1 1 2, because that was confusing to me, and I'm very visual. I have to have, I normally crochet by diagram, and not every pattern has a diagram, and so to read the pattern I get completely confused. So I had to watch it on YouTube, and I thought, well, I need to know when to do the 1 2 1 1 2 or the 1 1 1 2. So this is row 5, and we're on the 1 1 and then 2 into the next one. I think I just shortened that one. I did 1 1 1. Okay, let me take that one out. I get ahead of myself. Okay, so that's our 2 from the previous. So 1 1 1 and then 2. Bless him, he sounds like a human snoring. Bless his little heart. He normally lays on his little back on the couch, and so you don't hear him snoring much. But he's on his little tummy this time and got his little head on the couch arm, and I guess that's got his little respiratory. Okay, so I've done 1 1 1, and then now I've got 2. One, 1 1 2. This yarn is just so thick and so gorgeous. It's so easy to work with. I mean, it's just so soft. It's just gliding in and out. And I just love that color pattern. I mean, I love the variegated yarns. I've been a fan of variegated as long as I can remember. One, 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 and two. One, 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 and two. Yeah, for some reason when they and there again, like I said, I have watched so many do this, and it seems like they each do it differently. So see, I've got 2 stitches left, and I'm supposed to do 3 single double crochets, and then 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same thing. So since I'm not going to be able to finish the extra stitches, I'm going to go ahead because I need the decrease in my next row, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the last 2. Now you probably won't need to do that. You would probably be safe doing the 1 double crochet in each of the stitches. And one more thing, you're going to want to watch this right here and not try to add another stitch, because this stitch has been pulled. So we go 1, 2, 3. You don't want to add another stitch there and make it an increase when you don't need an increase. Okay. Now here again, I'm going to remind you, tight, 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 tight. Pull that as tight as you can get it, and pull it through here as tight. You're almost going to think you can't get it in there. Now this is where I'm gonna stop filming after I explain this to you. We're starting row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and row 6 is when you start your double crochet in every stitch. 1 double crochet, 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 all the way around. And you build your rows until you get the desired length or height of your beanie. When you finish, it's always good after you finish your last row, normally to row 16, and then single crochet at least 1 row around, and you may want to add 2. It's just according to how long you want to do your beanie. Now this, you would think that, oh well, it's okay to cut it off because I've went around it and went over it. Don't do that. Go ahead and weave that tail in. Go back either this way or go back the way you came with it, because this is something that's going to be worn a lot and washed a lot. And I tell everybody, and I even put a little tag in with my beanies when I gift them or sell them. Wash in cool water and dry on a cool setting. And I would put it in a garment bag. Put it with like things. You wouldn't want this with a silk, not a silk shirt, because obviously you're probably not going to wash a silk shirt in a washing machine. But you wouldn't want to wash this with something light colors, and you wouldn't want to wash it with something that it's going to get the fuzz on, because any crocheted item is going to have fuzz of some sort. And this is not completely anti-peeling, so it will get some fuzz balls. That's okay. If you've got a variegated, it's not going to show up that much. If you've got a solid colors, you're probably just going to have to kind of rake over it with the lint brush and get the fuzz balls off. But is that not just gorgeous? That is just absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, I'm going to leave you here. Double crochet in every stitch around. Then do your rows. This is row 6, remember. So you're going to go on to at least row 15, and then you may want to measure the length of your beanie. It's according to what size yarn you're using. I normally start measuring about row 13. So row 13 through 16, you're probably going to want to measure. Just go ahead and start about row 13. And then at the very, very end, do your single crochets all the way around. And then weave the tail in, and you have your beanie. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Go back and rewind it and watch it from the beginning. Most of you by now already know how to do your slip knot, and then do 5 chains, and then row number 1 is 12 double crochets, and then row 2 is where I brought you in on. You've got 24 double crochets, and then in row 3 you should have 36, row 4 you should have 48, and row 5 you should have 60, and then you should have 60 every row should have 60. And again, if you're doing this for a child, stop at row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do not do row 5. Stop at row 4, and then start row 6 of the just double crochets all the way around, and then start measuring. But I hope you will enjoy making your beanies, and leave me comments in the comment section of your colors. I love these colors. Again, I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. Super soft, super soft, and then it has a print pattern. If I wanted to make this, that's the pattern it would take. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's made in Turkey. And again, it's the colorway Argentine. This skein has 252 yards. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited over it. But thank you so much for joining in. Please like and subscribe and share my channel. I'm trying to get a lot of followers and a lot of subscribers to my channel. And I appreciate you watching my videos. Go back and slow this down. Stop it and start it as many times as you need to. And leave me a comment if you're having trouble following me. And I will do a much, much slower video next time. And I will see you all back here next time. Thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.